To him, life was the hardest game of all, a complex, unforgiving system where only the elite players could succeed. He had always been content to stay on the sidelines, a self-proclaimed bottom-tier player navigating life's challenges with little hope of leveling up. But when a mysterious girl appeared in his life, everything changed. She wasn't just any girl. She was a top-tier player, someone who had mastered every aspect of this unforgiving game. Her confidence was magnetic, her skills unmatched, and her presence, like a beacon of light, illuminated the path he never thought he could walk. Their encounter wasn't a coincidence. It was fate, orchestrating a collision of opposites. She saw through him instantly, calling out his defeatist attitude and lack of effort. To her, his excuses were nothing more than wasted potential. With sharp words and a determined spark in her eyes, she issued a challenge. What if life could be won like a game? The boy, reluctant but curious, found himself pulled into her world, where social interactions, self-improvement, and personal growth became quests to conquer. The first step in his journey was breaking free from his comfort zone, a task that seemed impossible. Under her guidance, he embarked on small but meaningful missions. From initiating conversations with classmates to joining after-school activities, every step was a test of courage. The classroom, once an intimidating battlefield of whispers and judgmental glances, slowly became a training ground. Each interaction felt like a mini-boss encounter, testing his resolve. The cafeteria, once avoided, became his arena for learning the art of casual conversations. It wasn't easy. Each interaction felt like a battle against his insecurities, and every misstep threatened to push him back into his shell. Yet, through persistence and her unyielding support, he began to see glimpses of progress. Was it possible that he could change even after all this time? Their dynamic was anything but ordinary. She was firm, sometimes harsh, but always honest. Her lessons weren't just about skills, they were about mindset. Winning isn't about being perfect, she said one day, her tone uncharacteristically soft. It's about making the effort, even when it feels impossible. For the first time, he started to believe her words. His world, once dull and gray, began to take on new colors. Small victories became sources of pride, and failures turned into opportunities to learn. But beneath her confident exterior, he couldn't help but notice cracks. What was driving her to help him? What was the source of her own relentless determination? Midway through their journey, he found himself grappling with a troubling realization. While her methods were effective, they often clashed with his sense of self. Did improving mean abandoning the person he had always been? One evening, he asked her, "Is being the best player really worth it if you lose sight of who you are?" Her answer wasn't immediate. For the first time, she hesitated, her gaze dropping to the floor as if the question had unearthed something she wasn't ready to confront. What was it that she wasn't saying? What truths were hidden behind her polished strategies and perfect facade? As their bond deepened, he began to uncover pieces of her story. She wasn't as invincible as she appeared. Beneath her confident exterior lay a vulnerability she tried desperately to hide. She had her own reasons for pushing him so hard, a burden she carried alone. Her relentless drive wasn't just about helping him, it was about proving something to herself. But what was it she was trying to prove? For the first time, he saw her as more than just a teacher or mentor. She was a fellow player in the game of life, struggling to navigate its complexities just like him. The boy's progress was undeniable. He had come a long way from the timid, self-doubting individual he once was. Yet, the closer he got to achieving his goals, the more complicated things became. One pivotal moment changed everything. A heated argument broke out between them, sparked by their differing perspectives. He accused her of being too controlling, while she countered that he wasn't taking his journey seriously enough. The confrontation forced them both to reflect on their motivations and fears. Sitting alone afterward, he found himself wondering, was this partnership about more than self-improvement? Was it about truly understanding one another? The climax of their journey came in the form of a high-stakes challenge, a school event that would test everything they had worked for. For the boy, it was a chance to prove how far he had come. For her, it was an opportunity to confront her own insecurities. The event was a whirlwind of emotions. As he stood before an audience, every lesson, every mistake, and every triumph came rushing back to him. He wasn't the same person he had been when they first met. But even as the applause echoed, his mind wandered back to her. What had she gained from this journey? Did helping him bring her the closure she sought, or was her story still unresolved? As the results of the event were announced, the boy's heart raced with anticipation. Yet, what truly mattered wasn't the outcome. It was the journey they had shared, the growth they had inspired in one another. Just as the moment of truth arrived, the scene faded to black, leaving the boy's fate and their partnership hanging in suspense. What lies ahead for these two players in the game of life? The answer is just out of reach, waiting for the next chapter to unfold.